Hey everyone. Oh, who's ready for another practice session? Hey mate, how's it going, buddy? Welcome, mate. Play around with TikTok streams tomorrow. Late practice session, a long one. Yes, indeedy. Bit to get through tonight. She's down here. Sorry guys, 2 seconds. Right, where's back? So 10 minutes until session starts. Let's have a check up on news. I haven't really had a check up on news in the last couple of hours or so since we ended the stream, unfortunately. But let's go and have a look. Faults on no tire blankets. Oh, it's gonna affect, isn't it? It's gonna affect them big time. Especially if you have teams who end up having a car that can't switch on the tires very quickly. I mean, the Mercedes is an example. If they don't sort that out for next year, they're gonna be screwed. But it's going to make undercuts and overcuts a little bit more interesting. Even more to keep an eye out on than before. Alright, so just trying to see if there's any news. I did see something about the... Oh, this was Fernando drifting for the last corner, I think. There we go. Whee! 50 degrees tire blankets next year, then no tire blankets 2024. Wow. What is their reasoning behind that? I haven't seen it. What is their exact reasoning? So I know they don't do it in F2. Just to make the pit stops a little bit more exciting, I assume. Yeah, it's got to be, isn't it? It's got to be the only reason why. But yeah, it was an interesting first. It was an interesting first practice session. Seeing the Mercedes up their signs was quite considerably fastest by about 3 tenths. Although Max probably not pushing it as much as he would. I thought I set this up, you know. Hang on. Let me get F1 up. Sky F1 that is. Jesus, I can't. Why is it? The Ferrari would take any first right now. There we go. Right. All right. 1.8 million is not that much, these jokers. True. Logan Sargent completed over 100 kilometers in FP1 without issues, which means he gets one more super license point, moves on to 28. Okay, so I don't know how many he needs for his super license, but he's getting closer. Yeah, it's not been good from Ferrari, is it? It's been a terrible year. They've had a much better qualifying car than they have done a race car, because they just choose for its tyres. But they've made so many poor decisions throughout the season where they could have ended up competing and probably taking it a lot further than it actually has done. See, this tweet here, this is my issue. And this is unfortunately what I think is possibly going to happen. I really hope it doesn't. This is what I think is going to happen. Let's have a quick listen to this. Got to pause. Oh, hang on. Just gonna pause this. I hope I don't get copyrighted for this, but
2021. Understand that it's going to drag everything up again, isn't it? From Abu Dhabi and last season, it was an overspend in 2021. Of course, other teams are saying, well, that gave you a head start in 22, and there's a carryover with the 2023 car, so it's a 3-year advantage in that respect. So it's really heavyweight. Then, of course, Red Bull will tell you, but you know, it's a matter of interpretation. There are mitigating circumstances. We think we're under. Others think we're over. I'm kind of bored of talking about it, to be honest. Why have we not got the FIA up here today? Why are Formula One not up here? Why are Red Bull not up here explaining this and putting it to bed?
I did ask the FIA and they said they won't talk about it until it's been concluded. While it's ongoing, they won't talk
They
to us
believe
about
that it's
it.
a legal process, don't they? And that's the thing, and they have to respect that. And actually, this confidentiality was put in place by the teams almost to protect them from themselves. What I could counter you from the Red Bull perspective, though, is that they believe that this overspend, you know, if they are to accept it, it's not performance related. What do you say to that?
Well, then, of course, the other teams are saying, all right, but then you had some other money to spend on performance. Even if you overspent money on that,
exactly,
maybe your performance budget was high. But this comes back to my point. You know, some teams will tell you $600,000 is an upgrade. It's worth 1/10 of a second. I don't think every upgrade we ever put on a car was worth 1/10 of a second, was it? But ever. But some of them were. But then, so all of a sudden, $600,000 is a crime, because 1/10 of a second in a race is 6 seconds. You win a Formula One race by 6 seconds. You dominated it. So, you know, it is important, like all the other regulations. And I must say, I think overall the FIA do a fantastic job of regulating and policing F1 in general.
Well, yeah, yeah. Everyone's pretty much shouting the same thing. So we'll see. There's a lot of pressure on them to do or issue the right penalties, because if they don't, shit's going to hit the fan even more so than it has done already. But anyway, on to this session. So now we've got the normal, usual drivers back in. So session starts in 1 minute. We're under 1 minute now. So we'll see what occurs. But yeah, long session this time around, isn't it? I'm not used to doing practice sessions on the Friday. I forget that P2 is a bit longer. But it'd be interesting to see if that time in P1, practice 1 gets beat. I mean, what's the track temperature at the moment? Slightly hotter. It was 29 earlier, 29 degrees. Now it's 30. Just want to see track temp. I think it was about 30 degrees last time around. 37 degrees now, so the track temp is a lot hotter than it was earlier on. Well, this is it though, Matty. Their consequences and their penalties are very broad. They're not really specific, and they need to be more specific with what penalty you get for the charges for going over. Here we go, guys. Everyone's out on track. Well, not everyone, but we're all getting out on track. So Bottas out on the mediums, Ricciardo on the mediums. This is where we probably see some long runs. I think 6 laps, no, 10 laps. Stroll, I think it was the longest run in Q1 practice one. Getting all my sessions mixed up. Oh, P2 is a Pirelli tyre test, is it? Oh, okay. Let's listen to Ted, see what he's got to say. Clearly, the driver tracker doesn't like to tell us what tyres they're on. Is that right? You're on it, Matty. You are on it this evening, buddy. Okay, so the guys who are on the mediums and the softs, where it's designated, they're on the standard tyre. The teams don't know what tyres they're running. Okay, fair enough. But it'll still be interesting to see times. So is there anything changing with the Pirelli tyres next year? Are they changing? They're not changing in size, are they? It's just different compounds, I'm assuming. But I'm sure there'll be plenty of driver radio in regards to how they're feeling. I mean, I'm assuming there's a set amount of laps they have to run on those tyres. Only tyre blankets changing to 50 degrees. Okay. Right, well, yeah, everyone apart from Stroll, Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, Sainz and Russell on track. Just trying to see really what we're taking out of this. It's quite difficult when you've got the Pirelli tyres on, the new ones on. If you do at least 30 minutes testing the tyres, so how many runs you can get in 30 minutes. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, okay. Sky F1 have got an interview with the Pirelli Motorsport manager, so we'll be able to find out some info on the tyres for next year. That'll be interesting. .40.4 from Ricciardo. So yeah, probably going to see some long runs now. 1:36 was the fastest time, wasn't it? 1:36.8. That was from Carlos Sainz in last session. So 3 timed fast laps in a row they have to do on these tyres as part of the test. No, hang on. No change of setup throughout those laps either, so you can't change anything within the car. Unmarked, as Matty has said, yeah. Come on, Anthony, hurry up, more info. Okay, so there's 2 different prototype tyres, which no one knows what they are. Limited to 20 kilograms of fuel as well. So in effect, basically every car is running same fuel. Obviously, they're running different setups, but they're running no changes within, no in-car changes throughout those laps. And yeah, 3 timed consecutive laps they've got to do on those tyres as well. So yeah, Latifi down at the bottom. He would be, wouldn't he? But yeah, it seems to be probably the smartest thing to do. Most guys going out on those prototype type tires, get that test out of the way and done with, and then you can concentrate on the rest of your practice session. So but I wonder like how different are they going to be? Like the actual makeup of tyres, like how they're created and stuff. Like what are they actually changing? Obviously there's probably little bits here and there throughout the year or from year to year that they're asked to change. But it'd be interesting to see. Do you think Science is on a set of soft tyres by any chance, guys? 38.7. Yeah, maybe, Matty, but they're always changing. They're always changing like the makeup of the rubber or whether they degrade more and stuff. I mean, I have absolutely not the foggiest or where to start in regards to how they create a tyre and all those calculations they must make. And I've got Mario Andretti in the commentators booth. Joe 141.4. Let's keep an eye on Latifi. Let's see if he can break into the 42s because he's currently in the 44s. Come on, Latifi. Here he comes. Cross the line. Can he get out the 44s? Yes, he can. Into the 43.5s. Oh. I know we don't know what tyres he's on, but he's over a second slower than Vettel. So yeah, there might be. I was thinking they might be mediums, but they must be mediums because he's on 20 kilograms of fuel. So he's going to set a quicker lap time than probably Leclerc because he's on a lighter fuel load. Leclerc might be doing a longer run, so he'll be on a higher fuel load. I mean, he did just do a 39.9, so that's about right. And then Leclerc's done a 37.6, so. Then again, though, Leclerc didn't get any running, did he, in practice 1? So they're probably doing what they did with Sainz in this practice session compared to, obviously, what he would have done compared to. Hey, funny as again, buddy. Welcome back. Let's have a little butchers at Twitter, shall we? Evening, Jack. How's it going, buddy? Welcome. Just have a look, seeing if anything is. Oh, apparently there's rumours coming out for the FIA have downgraded Red Bull to a procedural breach. and that their interpretation was correct. But apparently the source is from the Netherlands, so we'll yet to see if that's true. But interesting to see. Interesting if that is what comes out. Christian Horner, I did tweet. Christian Horner did see. Did pop in and see Suleiman, the head of the FIA, for a one-on-one. So we'll see. Oh, good man. Enjoy these times for the F1. Yeah, it is nice, isn't it, actually, seeing the evening times. It's nice and chilled. You're able to go about your day, do what you want, and then you can sit down and relax and watch F1. Yeah, the American races are quite cool. And it's Mexico next week, isn't it? So that's similar time again. The team principals press conference is tomorrow, is it? Yeah. Well, I reckon there's going to be announcements. It might be worth staying up, guys, if you're in Europe or wherever you are in the world and it's early, because I think we're going to get an announcement very soon, possibly after this practice session, about the cost cap. So it's on ABC. Oh, is that like a digital? So it's like a preview type thing. You don't have to. I mean, do you have to pay for that or not? Digital. I've never been to the US, so I'm not familiar with how your satellite TV works out there and your Freeview stuff. If anything is free in the US, because I know, unfortunately, you do have to pay for a lot of stuff. Same race time as Austin, Mexico. Lovely jubbly. I think they'll drop it, Jack, tonight so that it's ahead of that team principals press conference. That's what I reckon. See if there's anything else coming out. Yeah, see, it'd be interesting. I'm so intrigued to see what's going to happen, man. Evening, Brandon. How's it going, buddy? Will Sons be competitive for the win this weekend? Hope his team won't mess up his setup. Seems to be strong. Yeah, he was obviously top in P1. 3 temps quicker than Max. But we do know that Red Bull Max doesn't always go full out in practice sessions. Qualifying is really where it's going to matter. As well, the Ferrari has been worse on looking after its tyres all season compared to Red Bull. So this track really does take it out. It's really hard on the tyres anyway. And it's going to be a 2-stop race. So, yeah. It's set up for another Ferrari mistake, isn't it? I hope not. But yeah, he looks strong. He looks strong here. So, we'll see. It's free on the antenna, only race ABC shows. Ah, so similar to how it works in the UK then, where we own the only race which is free to air is the Silverstone race. So fair enough. It's one of the original networks. Oh, okay, nice. What isn't owned by Disney? What isn't owned by them now? Funny, where do I get my news from? So I mainly on Twitter. I follow the likes of Autosport News, the race, a number of F1 journalists as well. Andrew Benson, Chris, I can't remember what his last name is. Chris Medland. Like these guys are in and around the F1 paddock all the time, and I mean they're British journalists, but they're F1 journalists who have been. They do like freelance stuff. And then I've got a number of like podcasters that I follow who are really kind of like in the know, and they live and breathe F1, so they're always pretty much on it. Going to play some Race Room. Nice one, man. Apparently so, Brandon. Apparently it's been downgraded. The strong rumours are that it's been downgraded from a minor breach to just procedural breach. The minor breach is being struck off, and that apparently Red Bull interpreted the rules correctly. Seems very, very dubious, if you ask me, how this has come out after the head of the FIA has had a meeting with Christian Horner. I don't know. No, the broadcast don't ever really dip into those rumours. Sky don't really dip into them. They wait, don't they? Just to shore it up. Hey, Danny, thank you for the sub, buddy. Leclerc with a 36.8. I think that's like a couple of hundredths quicker than what Sainz did in the softs earlier on. Obviously, changing track conditions, it's slightly hotter now. He might be on a lower fuel load than Sainz was in practice 1, but still, a 36.8 on mediums is still a very good time around here. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. Unfortunately, it is, yeah. F1, Red Bull being one of the biggest teams as well. I said it earlier on, Max at the moment is the FIA's darling buds. He is their golden boy. And they don't want to take away titles. They don't want to take away Constructors' Championships, points. Looks like they don't even want to fine them. I don't know. It's just, we'll wait and see what comes out of it. But yeah, I still don't have any hope that we're going to get full transparency. So just seeing if anything else comes up. Nothing else coming through yet. That's basically just it. So we'll see. We'll see. Don't have much hope, guys. Oh, why is my chat box not on? I just realised. Sorry, guys. That's not very good. Big old empty space there. Come on, need to get these guys off of these prototype tyres. This is a bit boring, isn't it? Practice is boring at the best of times. Let alone when they're on tyres that you don't know they're on. Latifi still with a 43.5. That's But Charles Leclerc is in the pits. Did a very quick time on those mediums. Only three laps on those medium tyres. And I think he did the same on the soft tyres as well. So maybe coming in, refueling, and going out for some long runs, or maybe he's coming in to do the Pirelli tests. But Danny Rick is out now on the soft tyre. He's done his Pirelli tests. Hamilton's in as well. So yeah, should see guys come out now on their chosen tyres. Is Hamilton still running a data collection device in his car? I haven't seen him out on track yet. I don't think so. Apparently they still haven't put the new wing that they brought with them onto the car yet. It's just sitting in the garage. So we'll see. Oh my god, and the font's not even the right colour. Brick popping up as thought we crashed or something. Latifi's back out on another set of those tyres. Pirelli's gone. No, that was too fucking slow. Get back out there and run some proper laps. Yeah, Palou did okay. To be honest, I need to go back and look at the times that he set, but I think he did okay. He never get. I did know that he never got a run on the soft tyres. But yeah, seemed to have a better grip of the car than I think Danny Rick did. So such an elevation change from T1 down to the next corner. Matt, you're here with all the technical answers today. Love it. I didn't realise they only had one new wing. Fair enough. If that's the case, it makes sense, doesn't it? So I assume they're probably going to put it on in quali, aren't they? They'll put it on in quali, or they'll put it in. They'll probably put it on some. I reckon they'll probably put it on tomorrow, practice free. Get the data, see if it actually does anything, see if Hamilton likes it. They'll give it to Hamilton because Hamilton's had all the new parts all year. Hamilton's been the tester of all the new parts, first and foremost. Jules has been the one they've set up as like the steady Eddie, as the benchmark car really, so they can compare all the data, and then yeah, so I suppose he'll probably put it on tomorrow in practice free and then run it in qualifying. Because obviously once it's in part firme, can't do anything, which is qualifying. Austin knows the hill country. Small hills don't dare call them small mountains. I'm 1 hour south of Austin. Oh, nice one. Yeah, I know. The thing is, when you mention states, you think, oh yeah, like it's just like a small area. Nah, like the size of a country. Hence why they have their own laws. I totally understand that. Well, they'll probably put it on in quali if Hamilton's happy with it. If Hamilton's happy with it, then they'll probably put it on in quali and they can make another one. I think it's just the only reason they've brought one is because it's like a testing period, isn't it? Like they have to think of the cost cap, but also like prep for next year. So, am I streaming the race too? Yeah, I'll be streaming the race. Funny, I'll be live tomorrow night. I'll see if I'll be live for practice. I'm not sure, but I'll definitely be live for qualifying, and I will be live for the race 100%. Yeah, we're getting a good following. So I think at the last race we did, we had 1,700 people in here. So practice sessions aren't always popular, so expect the viewership to always be a bit lower. But appreciate everyone who is here tuning in anyway. So yeah, at the moment, not much to report about because all these times are irrelevant. Now, Latifi's now got into the 42s, so that's good. But apart from Leclerc, Ricciardo and Bottas, the others are all doing, obviously they're testing for the Pirelli tyres and we don't know what they're on. So it's a bit meh, if I'm honest, at the moment. I'll have a quick look at Twitter and see if anything else has popped up in regards to cost cap news. Best place to be. Be interested to see, yeah, how the other teams do handle this decision if it turns out that, oh yeah, like it was found that they were exponentially over, like, well, I say exponentially, like 2 to 2 million over or whatever, and then it turns out, oh no, it's just like being switched around. Alonso not happy. Yeah, Brandon. So I won't be streaming the actual race in regards to like TV coverage because of copyright, but I'll be streaming obviously this. Not really much else coming out. Everyone just going, typical FIA. Oh, okay. So this has come out earlier, which I didn't see. So apparently the FIA informed the budget cap. The FIA informed Red Bull of their penalties. There were 6 penalties to choose from. 6. What? For the offence Red Bull is accused of. The worst solution would be a penalty that changed the standings of the 2021 World Championship. Why are they offering them 6 fucking penalties? Sorry, I didn't realise breaking the rules there was then a negotiation on the penalty that you receive. What other sport does this happen? You break the rules, you don't get to negotiate your fucking penalty. If that is true, man, that is just absolute. I'm just sort of lost of words now. If only there was a way to use Discord to live stream. If it is like the Mafia, they do exactly what. But yeah, it is. They just don't have any balls. Don't have any balls. There's too much money in it all. Do you want to pay 2 million and lose a championship? Yeah, it'll be something like that. Are just absolutely ridiculous. I'm gonna have to wait. I don't think anything else is. It's only rumours at the moment. I think something's going to be announced afterwards. Oh, well, Hamilton has no mirrors today. Unbelievable. Oh, Lando nearly binning it in the pit wall. Ooh. FIA, yeah, it's just as I said, I'm at a loss for words now. I feel like I don't want to talk about the cost cap anymore until we lose until we find out more information, because it's just the more and more I hear about it, the more and more I'm kind of annoyed. I mean, I don't know. Either way you look at it, that the cost cap arbitration have even made a horrendous mistake in regards to miscalculating what they'd audited, or Red Bull have somehow managed to negotiate their way out of it. Don't know how they've done it, but they've just managed to. And yeah, it'd be interesting because this affects every other team on the grid. It'd be interesting to see how the other teams accept the findings if this is the case, if they have turned back on their penalty. Well, this is it, Paul. Yeah, so that's what I'd read and heard. I'd heard that they can't take away points. They can suggest points. They can push it up to the arbitrary panel and then suggest that there's deduction of points, but they can't actually dish out the penalty itself. Zero consistency in penalties or driver penalties. One race, someone pushed driver off track. Yeah, there's no consistency across the board whatsoever, is there? Hasn't been for some time. Next year, get bigger mirrors. Well, this is what will happen. Funny, I think it will all come out one way or the other. It's just the fact of it. The FIA is saying they're keeping everything under wraps at the moment because, in effect, it's a legal case. It's a legal matter. But I don't know. I just feel like they hide behind so many excuses. But yeah. Oh Jesus, are they done with this Pirelli tyre test yet? Lots of them are in the pit, so hopefully they come out now and we see some proper times. But Leclerc's out again on a set of mediums. MoneyGram sponsor has Rich Energy. I don't know who MoneyGram are, Jack, to be honest. I've never heard of them before. Bottas, yeah, P2. Any softs? Oh, that's not good, Magnussen. Something big is loose around my pedals. But yeah, surely some of these guys now are on actual proper tyres. Tsunoda's out, Perez is out. What? So they not get any running at all on normal tyres? They're huge in the US, MoneyGram. Oh, are they? Fair. So they're definitely an American sponsor then. Something with Albon. By the way, guys, that has got to be the biggest American flag I have ever seen at the top of T1. That is humongous. Oh, big snap nearly there from Leclerc. But yeah, going back to that flag, that is huge. Do like to overcompensate a bit, don't you, you Americans? Red Bull paid extra money to their engineers for food. It said that their food consumption costs don't play into account with the budget cap. Well, that's the rumour, Paul. That is the rumour, isn't it? That's the strongest rumour that they've got. But until it comes out, no one knows. I also read somewhere that they had a number of their staff go on sick leave, but then because they decided to pay them full money or something like that, like sick leave doesn't come under the cost cap, but because they still paid them their full wages, it didn't come under. It still came under the cost cap, something like that. But I don't know. Until we see where the spend actually is, we gotta wait. But everything is bigger in Texas. It does, Jack. It does. I think there's always a big gust of wind that comes down as well in that section, if I remember rightly. You look at Giovinazzi's crash in P1. That wasn't his fault. He was going at a decent pace there. He wasn't going too quick. He was tight to the apex, and the rear just let go. probably because of a bit of wind, and I think there was a car not close to him, but in front of him, off to the side, and that gave off a little bit of dirty air. So we know these cars are a little bit more laboured and heavy through the corners than last year. So, oh, Alex Palou. If they didn't resurface it from last year, it would be brutal. Oh, it was, wasn't it, last year? So only Charles and Bottas out on normal tyres at the moment. Well, they're not even out there. Bit of a muted practice session, really. Yeah, Giovinazzi sticking it in the wall, man. I mean, yeah, it wasn't his fault. It was harsh. Harsh to say, really, that's his error. Reminds me a bit of how... Remember Hamilton binned it in Austria qualifying? Sorry, I've got an itchy nose. Touch my nose. There was a gust of winds that caught him and just took all the downforce out of the rear of the car. And that's why he spun. Reminds me a bit of that. All right. Some guys are going to the pits, but I mean, where's Matty gone? What are the? How long is this? How long are they supposed to run these tires for? Is it an hour? Is it half an hour? It seems like the guys who were out on those tires have been out on them for ages. Bottas and Leclerc still in the pits. I think everyone's going to come out here and do everything on these tyres. 30 minutes, is that it? They've gone way over 30 minutes. 3 flying laps it is, Jack, apparently. But they're out there for quite some time. Maybe they've got multiple compounds. Well, there's two compounds of tyres that apparently that are available. Russell, there's a few more guys coming in the pits now. Oh, Sainz is coming out, but he's coming out and he's out on. Not gonna lie, guys, it's a bit boring, isn't it? I like to see what tyres are on, what the relevance in the times. When you don't know what tyres are on, and you just like, Be 90 degrees. I'm hoping for a normal race to Brandon anyway, to be honest. I think when it's wet, sometimes it takes away, around here, it takes away a little bit of the interest of the race itself. We'll definitely get 2 stops here, I think, this weekend, which always makes the races more interesting. The problem is with the wet races at the moment, the wet tyre is pretty useless, so it's just intermediates all the time. All right, let's have another quick check of Twitter. That's it, Jack. Yeah, that's what they need, and unfortunately, that's not what we're getting because the Inters just go forever, and they're much quicker than the wets. They're better in wet conditions than the wets. It's just so backwards. And like Singapore was interesting because we had like a number of crashes and stuff and safety cars, but that race really should have been a 2-stop still, wets to intermediates to slicks. Like, that would have been a great track evolution and a great intrigue of a race. Hey, Bloodheads again, buddy. Welcome, mate. Like Turkey in 2020, yeah. Exactly, Brandon. Exactly. I mean, we got that, didn't we? We did get that in Singapore with George Russell, but it was just too early, way too early, and he was stuck right at the back, so it wasn't quite the same. But yeah, 2 stops in like, wets to inters to slicks. I mean, we haven't had that in ages. When was the last? Was it Turkey? Was the last race 2020? It was like that. I mean, it was 2 years ago now. Go on, Brad. What's your question? Ask away. I'm sorry, I've got to show you this, guys. It's quite funny. So, Christian explained to me why we were wrong, and we've apologised to him. Can I get a hoo-yah? No, not tonight, mate. So, what's that? We'll see. We'll see. Still no new information. Just people kind of tweeting about it, making memes. Not yet, guys. My favourite track. I think I've said this before. Silverstone. Yes, I'm British and I've picked Silverstone. How original. But Silverstone has always thrown up really good races, and I love the track, the way it flows, and I love racing on that track as well, in sim racing. So that's why I like it, and I like Suzuka as well. I really like Suzuka. So I was gutted really that we had the wet race that we had in Suzuka last couple of weeks ago, because that track is just amazing. Original. You like Spa, not 2021 version, that was pathetic. Yeah, I like Spa as well. The problem we've had with Spa... Oh, hang on. Oh no, Ted's not making anything. But yeah, the thing is with Spa, the reason we've had a bit of kind of muted races the last couple of years is because everyone takes bloody engine penalties at Spa. So they need to stop. They need to alter the engine penalties and stop making like the top teams like take them so that they start from the back of the grid or they start from the pit lane, because most of the time we don't get the fights up front that we should. I think the last time we had a fight, was it 2019? Was that 2019 when Lewis fought Vettel and he lifted on the restart through Eau Rouge so that he could stop Vettel from getting that run? I think that's the last time we got a proper, like, decent Spa race. Yeah, 19 and 18 was good, yeah. So, like, that's what Spa can be, but for the last 3 years, everyone just takes penalties, engine penalties, and they're all out of position, and not in a good way, because the guys who should be fighting it out at the top aren't. So the strategy's all over the place, and I mean, and then Max had his rocket engine in for Spa and just blitzed it past everyone. 18 was the 4 wide. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. But yeah, no, I love Spa. But Spa is still up in the air, guys. We're getting it for 1 more year, and then I think it will be off the calendar. I really hope it isn't, but apparently the only reason it was reintroduced or signed on again for next year was because the South Africa track fell through. If that didn't fall through, then we wouldn't have got Spa. We should get another British GP. But where would you have it? There isn't a track suitable enough for F1, modern day F1 cars now. Round brands, oh my god. No need to confess anything, Bloods. You're Dutch. I like the Dutch. Love Amsterdam. Great place. Ooh. Oh, wow. That was a massive snap from Lewis there, running out wide. Oh, Lando's gone wide. So there's like rumble strips there. It's a horrible corner, that is. In iRacing, I hate it. A Brit who actually likes you. There's plenty of Brits that like you. Plenty. And I was saying this earlier, we can all support whoever we want. We're allowed to have biases. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing suitable for these cars. Yeah, there's no other track other than Silverstone in the UK that would be suitable for them. Nothing's big enough, is it? Everything else is more suited to, like Formula 4 cars, aren't they? Maybe Formula 3, maybe at a push, but anything F2 and Formula 1. I don't think there's anything else that's suitable. Everyone's on Pirelli tyres, guys. Well, of course they are, but the prototype tyres. So it's a bit of a mess session at the moment. Maybe in a little bit, next 10 minutes or so, we'll get guys come out on actual tyres that they're supposed to use. A few guys coming into the pits now, which is good. Okay, go on, change onto normal tyres, please. Donny's probably the closest, but too short. Yeah, it's not wide enough, Donny, though, is it? Donny's not wide enough for a Formula 1 car. But the only section that's wide enough is start finish straight, which is too short anyway. And then, I can't remember the section down to the hairpin after the chicane. They will do, Jack. Yeah, I mean, I think they've got to do some long runs as well, haven't they? No one's done any long runs. The longest run we've seen is 10 laps in practice 1, which was by Stroll. So, ...100% agree with you, Brandon. 100% agree. It's a track that you can't overtake. So, I was on the Missed Apex podcast, and we were asked the question, out of the 2023 calendar, what tracks would you remove? Now, obviously the most popular one was Monaco. So I chose two tracks that no one else had chosen, and I thought, okay, from my perspective, the racing hasn't been good there. And that's the first one is a controversial one. Of course, it's going to be Zandvoort. Now, for me, yes, this year was a little bit more interesting with the strategy element coming into play. But overall, the racing itself was still a bit boring. It was just a standard DRS pass, which people would easily clear going down into the first corner. There wasn't really like wheel to wheel for a couple of corners. And then the first year was very boring. And then the second one was Mexico. Mexico has just not been an interesting race for the last... I mean, has it been an interesting race since we've gone back there? Don't think we have. And the stadium just disrupts the flow of the track as well. So yeah, those were my ones that I said that would remove, but the King Straight makes an exciting start, and that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I think every year the leader has just as I think every year at Mexico, the leader has won by over 10 seconds. I'm being quite generous there in regards to 10 seconds. I think it might even be further than that. Yeah, we get incidences on the first corner, don't we? Because of the long run. But that's about it, really. Then there's never really much else racing going on. But I agree, Monaco is a boring race. The cars have outgrown it. They're not like they used to be. They're not like they used to be. The start-finish straight isn't long enough now. So, here's some more information about the budget cap. Well, Flume, let me just quickly double-check. I'll see if there's any more stuff that's being rumoured or leaked at the moment. Just having a look. So, nothing at the moment. So, apparently, grid penalties for Perez and Zhou this weekend as they take new ICEs. Okay, so Perez will be starting from the back. So basically, the latest update, Flume, on the cost cap, which we said not too long ago, is they are. It looks like the FIA have removed the minor breach element of the cost cap, and it's just going to be a procedural breach. No more information as of yet, but apparently Red Bull's interpretation of the cost cap was correct. That's what I'm seeing branded about at the moment online. Nothing official yet. Hopefully we get something very soon. Why does Stroll say it's on T? Does that mean like tyre tests again? Any idea what the consequences can be? Well, if it's a procedural breach only, then it will just be a fine, just like Aston Martin and Williams got. Because that's more to do with like filing error, issuing the papers late, or submitting late, like not hitting it within the deadline, stuff like that, basically. So that's a straight up fine. If there is the original minor breach, then we still don't know. There's obviously outlines in the rules what they could possibly be, but they're still very broad, so no one knows. There's so many rumours being branded about at the moment. Just gotta wait now, wait and see. Well, at the moment, guys, if we get to half hour into this practice session, we could very well not see any normal tyres. It's just literally an hour and a half of Pirelli testing. No relevant information to take from this at the moment, it seems. Well, that's it, Flume. Everyone's dying to know. Everyone just wants a bit of transparency, and we're not getting that. Nice turn one from Magnussen. It's cool seeing the onboards through here, especially through the S's. Okay, so he is using a little bit of brake. He's not using any brake through the right-handers of the S's, Magnussen. That's interesting to see. Respect Gotifi. At the bottom. Would he be anywhere else, guys? Would Gotifi be anywhere else? I don't think so. Alonso's on the back of Perez. Oh, guys. Just flicking through Twitter again. This is where you find all the info. Five. Took you a while to work that one out, Blood, didn't it? You definitely had to Google that. How many seconds away from... Oh, 5. Sorry, you didn't. 5507. Oh, it's late at night, man. This practice session hasn't been the most riveting. Ramsey, thank you for the sub, buddy. Simple maths, Scott. That's what that was. Simple maths. 5,507 bloody seconds. Don't trust anything until the FA comes out with a statement. Yeah. I mean, there's always some truth in the rumours. Always some truth. But I don't know. We will see. They need to... The thing is that this is such a hot topic. They have to make sure that whatever happens, that they release the details. They have to. Because I just think there's going to be uproar from the fans. There's going to be uproar from the teams. There's going to be a lot of people not happy with this. I mean, it could very well be that, yeah, okay, there's an interpretation that was wrong, or that the cost cap arbitration took, or adjudication took, they misinterpreted it or something. Like, if that's the case, then okay, but the information needs to come out and let us know everything, the breakdowns and the reasons of why that was. So we have every car on track apart from Russell, Zhou, and Ricciardo. Russell's been in the pits for quite some time as well. Oh, Jack, honestly, I'm getting fed up with it. I don't know why they're still on the tyres. I'm hoping that when it gets to 30 minutes, that they at least start to come in and come out on normal tyres. But this is a very useless practice session for us to watch. Because what's the point? These are next year's tyres, and the times are pretty much irrelevant. We don't know what compound of tyre they're on. All we know is that they're on the same amount of fuel. I mean, Leclerc said 36.8 on normal medium tyres. So he's done 6 laps. He's done 3 on the softs and 3 on the mediums. But other than that, like... Well, apparently they were supposed to do it in Suzuka, wasn't they? But it was too wet, for obvious reasons. Okay, so Ted Kravitz has just said that the aim of the Pirelli tyres is to, or the new ones for next year, is to get rid of the understeer that is quite prevalent in these new regulation cars. So it's just this weekend, Flume. It was supposed to be last weekend at Suzuka, but of course it got rained out. So they're doing it now in this session, it seems. But my understanding is that it's not for it shouldn't be for the whole session. Just listening to Ted Kravitz again. Well, apparently Leclerc could possibly be taking a engine penalty unit. A penalty for a new engine unit for this weekend, which means he would start from the back of the grid. Yeah, Flume, same here. I thought it was only supposed to be 30 minutes as well. I don't know why they're going on for an hour now. They've been going on for an hour. I'm listening to Sky and they're not indicating that anyone's going to be coming out on normal tyres anytime soon. So this whole hour and a half is going to be Pirelli tyres. I'll see if I can find some info elsewhere. Right. No one's really saying anything in regards to how long it's supposed to be. Still no one out. Jesus. Russell's out. No, he's still in the pit, sorry. Zhou is out. But Zhou's also out on normal. Oh, for God's sake, I'm losing. Pirelli, you've ruined this evening for me. They reckon 33 degrees on Sunday. Nice. Oh, Flume, same here. It's not quite 1 AM. It's 3 minutes past 12, and I'm the same. I'm trying to find things to talk about, guys. Keep this stream going, but it's difficult. It's just boring. Even Sky F1 aren't talking much about anything. Apparently, yeah, Pirelli Motorsport have tweeted, this is a session that's unusually devoted to 2023 tyre testing and lasts for 90 minutes. This has been arranged as a way of getting entire testing mileage for next year without needing extra sessions outside the race weekends. So, yeah, this is it, guys. This is a whole session of tyre testing. So the only guys who were able to... So the guys who have set faster times, i.e. Ricardo, Bottas, Leclerc... who was the other one? Magnussen. They were the only ones who were able to come out and do laps on normal tyres because they had to give up their seat for the young drivers in practice one. So, yeah, Leclerc was on mediums earlier. Yeah, he did a lap. He did a couple of laps on the softs, then did a few laps on the mediums. That time was set on the mediums. So, yeah. Riveting stuff, guys. Riveting stuff. Someone else tweeted, this is the most dragged out reprimand / fine I've ever seen. Just tell us already. Yeah, they like to drag shit out, don't they, the FIA? Yeah. Well, people back in the pits. Maybe it changes. I don't know. I still have hope that we're going to get normal tyres on. But no, it's just testing tyres. If Red Bull Racing's F1 hospitality is not considered for the Best Restaurant 2022 award, it will be a huge oversight. Trying to see if any journalists, F1 journalists I follow, are tweeting about rumours. This is funny, isn't it, when you think about it? So, Lewis Hamilton said about the cost cap breach, we got a 25 grand fine for me having this nose ring, and a 50 grand fine for having that wing and put dead last in the race, which was the Brazil race, if you don't remember. So I'm hopeful. I truly believe that I have to have belief in the FIA and the people that are leading this team, that they're going to make the right decisions. What those are, everyone has an opinion on what should or should not happen, but I'm not giving it energy. I'm trying to win a race right now. So if they can fine someone 25 grand for a bloody nose ring in, I'm sure they can. Surely you can implement the cost cap correctly. I love the memes. That's the best thing about F1 sometimes. The meme. Who created the meme? Brilliant. Oh, this is a cool photo, guys. Because there's not really much happening at the moment. This is a cockpit view of the Alpine. An idea of... I don't like the shape of that steering wheel, I must admit. It's not Formula Rim enough for me. That's just my general opinion. Oh no. Brad Pitt's making a Formula 1 movie, isn't he? Interesting. It's good. Well, this is how you get around and negotiate getting out of a cost cap and heard rumours about Mercedes having people in the FIA. I've seen this branded about. I mean, let's have a quick Google of this. Mercedes FIA. Red Bull raised eyebrows at ex-Mercedes advisor within FIA during cost cap decision. Well, yeah, but then they could also... Isn't one of the guys an ex-AlphaTauri boss? Or financial boss? So it works both ways. The AlphaTauri clothing line makes all of the clothes for the FIA. And they have the AlphaTauri badge. All the FIA officials have the AlphaTauri badge on like their collars. I'm not saying there's anything in it, but like those accusations can go both ways. So I think that's a bit of a making a mountain out of nothing, to be honest. Just trying to see if there's anything else. Apparently, she was at the FIA before she even joined Mercedes, and then now she's back at the FIA again. So, yeah, seems a bit of like just trying to have a go, isn't it? It's all politics, F1. It's going to make an interesting Drive to Survive. Hopefully, the editing's okay. Which I think, if I understand correctly, they've said that they're going to they're changing the direction of Drive to Survive for this season, because last season was just, let's be honest, Drive to Survive last year was dog shit, wasn't it? What was it all about? There was so much that happened last year, and I feel like they missed so much. The editing was poor. Right. So pick this one out, guys. I want to know if anyone else noticed this. When you watched Drive to Survive last year, did you notice how out of sync, and this ruined the whole experience for me, how out of sync the audio was? So what I mean by that is the engine was out of sync. The gear shifts were out of sync. And it was just so... when they were braking and downshifting, it was out of sync, and it was so off-putting. I was like, he's in 6th gear. He's not shifting up all the way through the gears when he's in 6th gear. Like, just to me, that's just pure laziness and just trying to force the drama. It was just, it was horrible. A lot of ex-team employees work for the FIA. Well, yeah, exactly. And why wouldn't they? Because they've got knowledge of the sport. You're not gonna bring people in from outside, necessarily from outside of the sport, who have no idea about it. Didn't even bother watching next episode because, honestly, it was horrendous, Flume. Horrendous. And I mean, they made some very bizarre decisions in regards to what races to introduce. Like, they did not show any footage of Brazil. I don't think they did at all. Maybe like a couple of seconds. That whole weekend was brilliant. Like, drama. Lewis Hamilton obviously being the penalty, then being put to the back of the grid, and then him fighting through, and then his race with Max, and actually no, they did show a little bit of it. They showed the bit where Lewis was in with the engineers, and he went, "What? They're trying to like do a test for that or whatever, like for the rear wing." And so it was it's just shit. But apparently the drivers all sat down with the FIA and said they're not happy with the false rivalries, the false drama, the way it's been edited, and the FIA sat down with Netflix and said, you need to fucking change it. and they are. So we'll see. Proof will be in the pudding. But right, what were we looking at? We're looking at Russell on track, Stroll, Leclerc, Mick, Bottas, Show, Magnussen. One of the most boring practice sessions I've ever seen in my life. Even Sky F1. Sky F1 have not come out with any bit of information that I think has been worth talking about. They don't seem to cover the major events. What, Sky F1? They like to wait for the information to come out. So they don't. Ted Kravitz is about the only one who comments on rumors in like his notebook, and brings it up to them. But the actual main presenters themselves don't really comment on it. So Ted's the only one who really brings it up and kind of forces them to talk about it. But Ted Kravitz, that is. But who has grid penalties as it stands now? Perez and Zhou. And then there's a strong rumour that Leclerc will also be taking a power unit penalty and starting from the back of the grid. But yeah, I'm just trying to keep checking the internet, see if there's any information that I can bring you guys. Mate, he looks good, doesn't he, Brad Pitt? And he's nearly 60, I think. Well, he might even be 60 now. Oh, so this is interesting. Someone's given an update on what people have brought, what teams have brought upgrades to the US Grand Prix. So, Mercedes have got the most upgrades this week. They've got a new front wing, they've got floor fences and edge, and they've got a rear wing end plate. The Alpine has got a new floor edge, and the Alfa Romeo has got a new floor body. They're the only ones to bring upgrades for this weekend. How long left? If you look at the little timer underneath myself down there, it's 11 minutes, guys. 11 minutes of this horrendous, boring, tiresome, useless. Is there any more adjectives you can think of? Practice session. Like, it's been boring on the tracker, it's been boring on the timing sheets, and it's been boring on Sky F1. We've tried our best to bring you guys some topics of conversation, but there's only so much. It's 58 years old, Brad Pitt. Yeah, I knew he wasn't far off 60. Looking good, man, isn't he? Looking good. Mate, Twitter's even quiet as well. I think everyone's gone to sleep from this practice session. Oh my God, Sky F1 are literally just sitting there going, what do you reckon Daniel Ricciardo is on at the moment? Soft, hard, medium, compound tyres? Ha 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 ha! Because it's so funny. Who's in the relegation zone in what, the Premier League? Ooh, let's have a look. Thank you, Raiders. Thank you, buddy. I'm surprised. I'm surprised there's 32 of you sitting around with me watching this. If I'm honest, yeah. Let's have a look. Do you think Perez will get all the stops pulled to secure second in the championship? Not really. No, because they don't win. There's no prize money for where you finish in the Drivers' Championship. They get, obviously, they earn a lot of money commercially from having the Drivers' Champion. And they get prize money for the constructors, which I think Ferrari have to outscore. They have to outscore Red Bull by 19 points. But yeah, that's. I don't think they'll prioritize him over any decisions or anything. Max will still be that number one. So, but what do I think about the cost cap from 2021? Well, Raiders, we've been talking about it quite a bit this evening. I've given plenty of my opinions on it. I'll say it one more time. If it turns out, and there's strong rumours now that it's been removed, the minor spend, and that Red Bull's interpretation of the rules or the cost cap was correct. But let's say they have overspent and that they were indeed £2 million over. They should, personally, in my opinion, have the book thrown at them. And that means Drivers' Championship points, Constructors' Championship points, like removed from the previous championships. Now, that's not because it's Red Bull and because I'm British and British bias, blah, blah, blah. This is for any team. Doesn't matter who you are, and if this happens in the future as well. If it should be that if you breach financial rules, you are removed from the year that you breached those financial rules. Now, it's happened in other teams. Derby is the one. Derby Football Club in the Championship is the one that I can that pops into my head where something happened like this. So they actually stayed up. So they were fighting in relegation battle. They actually won their last game of the season or drew it, but they stayed up by like 1 point. It turned out that the governing body found out they broke financial rules after they'd stayed up, and there was all this like jubilation that they'd managed to stay in the league. They then got a fine, and then they also got minus 21 point deduction, which meant they were relegated anyway. Now, that's how it should be in F1. Ultimately, like the sport should be no different. Gold medals are removed years after they've been won, because it's found that they were cheating. Lance Armstrong, the most famous one, with his cycling, where he doped. He lost all of his titles. The team lost all of those titles as well. It should be no different in F1. Yes, Max hasn't had any direct influence, shall we say, in that overspend, but he's benefited from a car which is technically had more money spent on it and is illegal. Whereas all the other 19 teams have been able to stay within that cost cap and budget within that cost cap and consciously stay within it. So yeah, that's my opinions on it. That's where it should be. But the strong rumours are that the FIA have just come to a negotiation with Red Bull that their minor spend is actually incorrect. Minor overspend is incorrect, and they're only going to be in procedural breach, which will be just a fine, because that's like a filing error, sending their audit in late, or accounts in late. So yeah, that's my opinions. That's my thoughts on it. So. Oh, by the way, world, we were just joking about the breach. But yeah, exactly. So everyone is waiting with bated breath, and I can't stress it enough how important this is for the sport moving forward. It is so important because it could completely just make future championships worthless and pointless. Like, what's the point of the rules? What is the fucking point of any of it if they can go back on this sort of stuff or not dish out the right penalties? That it's going to make so many people like disinterested and just disillusioned. That's the right word I was looking for. Disillusioned. So Ashley, thank you, buddy. Yes, yeah, really looking forward to that. Yeah, really looking forward to the quali event. I haven't announced it yet on YouTube. I was waiting for more people. But I'll put something up on YouTube. But yeah, really looking forward to that in a month's time. Red Bull wants a 1-2 in the drivers. Never done it before, I think. Yeah, probably. Sucks so much they have to overspend. He doesn't know how much they spend, but if they have overspent, they've got to learn the hard way. Well, this is it, Flume. So I'm actually going to do a video on this. I just need to put a bit of time aside to do it and edit it. But I've argued, and this is the thing, people have said, well, it should just be a Constructors' Championship was removed. The drivers shouldn't be affected. The drivers shouldn't be affected. But ultimately, F1 is a team game. Now, while Max didn't have direct influence on the overspend of the car, he's benefited from a car that has had an overspend. The team have consciously made those decisions to go over the cost cap or flirt near the cost cap, and it turns out that they've gone over. Drivers are part of a team and should be punished the same way. There's been cases in the past where drivers should have been penalised for their team's mistakes, but they weren't. Crashgate with Fernando Alonso, he benefited from his team strategically causing that crash and then winning that race and then ultimately winning the championship. They should have removed that race win from him and disqualified him because it was a team decision for their driver to benefit. But they treated it differently because the championship still needed to be completed. Commercially, it wouldn't have looked good if their main competitor for the guy fighting up front for the championship would be disqualified because of the team decision. But he should have been disqualified. That decision was made to get him the race win, and it's the same with this now. It's to make sure Max gets the fastest car and wins as many races as he's done this year. Not his fault, but people have made those decisions and they need to be punished for it. That's only where it's going to hurt them most. It's only going to hurt people most and deter teams from doing this sort of shit if they hit them where it hurts. Drivers' Championship points deducted. Constructors, I actually even think these big teams don't care too much about it. Realistically, yes, there's prize money behind it all, but they all want the drivers. They all want that Drivers' Championship. It's much more commercially valuable to them to have that World Drivers' Champion. I agree, Brandon. Hey! It's finished, guys. Torture over. That torturous Pirelli tyre test is over. I cannot believe they made that go on for an hour and a half. You utter bastards. Will, you think it's going to be a slap on the wrist for Red Bull? Next time it happens, there'll be severe actions which is unfair on all the teams. Well, yes, that's what other people's issues are, is that Red Bull will get away with it, and then it'll be, we've clarified and tightened up the rules and the penalties for next year moving forward. Someone goes over it, then they're harshly treated, and not treated in the same way that Red Bull was. You know damn well that can very well possibly happen, and probably will happen, and it'll make me start to lose love of the sport, because you're sitting there thinking, well, have they got a legal car? Is it? I don't want to sit there. I don't mind all the little gamesmanship and games in regards to like the wings trying to flirt with the rules and the regulations in regards to development. That's part and parcel of F1. That's part of the fun of it, and the innovation, but not when it comes to this financial stuff where it's kind of, well, it doesn't seem like it's quite clear cut, but where it should be more clear cut, you've clearly cheated. You haven't just flirted with the regulations, you've gone over them, you've broken them, you've cheated ultimately. Let's not beat around the bush. And you've made a car, you've spent more money on a car that you shouldn't have done. It's just like if you spend more money on a football team than you should have done. You get punished for it. Yeah, Raiders. Yeah, that's Lewis has said it, and Bottas has come out and said it. We've also seen Daniel Ricciardo, Lando Norris, Zach Brown issued a letter. Like, this affects every single team. Like, the whole idea of this cost cap was to make sure, eventually, over the coming years, bring the top teams and the slower teams closer together, because they haven't got unlimited amounts of money to spend on development and their car. And it's just so coincidental, isn't it? Or is it coincidental that the only team to have won, the only team to have gone over the cost cap is the team that has won back-to-back championships. Drivers' championships, gonna win the Constructors this year, could have won the Constructors last year as well. That's not coincidental, is it? That's not... I don't know. It just can't be coincidence. Can't be. Well, it's not so much for its performance related, Bernie. So apparently a big chunk of it, once again, this is all rumours, nothing has been officially confirmed. A big chunk of it is due to a tax rebate from the HMRC. So our government, apparently they're possibly due a tax rebate on the R&D side of the car, or of development. So yeah, Flume, no worries, buddy. I'll see you soon. I'll be back tomorrow night with a proper practice session and a proper qualifying. Red Bull found a way to suck about the budget. It was just say sick pay and carry him as one. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, but Ruben, penalties for the following year, yes. But what do? Do you just let them keep the championships that they overspent on? Because technically while this is now being carried out in 2022, this is in relation to 2021. That championship, that close-fought championship, where they've overspent. They spent too much money that possibly has given them an extra upgrade or whatever it may be on the car. And thank you, Alicia. Thanks for the sub. And you need to punish them for that year, not future years. You don't go, oh, well, you cheated in that year. Okay, so you get to keep those titles and then you get punished for the next year or the next couple of years. That's not how it works. In my opinion, like when it comes to fucking sport, You get punished for the year or game that you cheated in, not for future games or future races or whatever. Yeah, there's a knock-on where you get a penalty for future events or whatever it may be, whatever sport you're in, but you lose that championship that you won. Any other sport would do the same, but F1 is not. It's just bizarre to me. Is it buying a title? That's the quick. No, it's not. It's not specifically buying a title, but it's because you still need to go out on track. You still need to beat the other team, beat the other driver. It's giving yourself an unfair advantage. That's what you've done. You've spent more money to give your car more upgrades than it should have been, than it should have had within the rules. Because people are saying it's 1.8 million. Okay, let's say it's catering and sick leave. So it's 1.8 million pounds on catering and sick leave. Well, you've still overspent 1.8 million pounds. That 1.8 million pounds on those items should have been included within that cost cap amount, which is 145 million. 19 other teams have been able to do that. Why have you not been able to do that? So we'll see. Squadron from last year's and pass it on. Yeah, I just think that's how it should be. You don't get to keep the titles that you effectively cheated to win and then get punished for future. Because you could, in effect, they could go, okay, well, we're leaving now. We're leaving F1. We're happy. We've done our time. Yeah, Max is double world champion. We won the constructors this year. Thanks very much. Don't worry about those penalties. We're off. They could do that if they wanted to. Wouldn't matter to them. They got what they wanted. I don't know. That's just my opinion. It just seems all pretty backwards to me, and I don't see how people can't see it. It's finances are a big part of any sport, and if you don't manage them correctly, then you get punished for them. So, but anyway, guys. At least that horror show of a practice session is over and done with. Didn't learn anything whatsoever. There was no information that came out from Sky, or it was just a guessing game of what tyres people are on, and that was it. I'm going to check one last time on Twitter and see if anything has occurred. Let's have a look. Look at the comments. This was the most boring F1 session ever. I agree. I absolutely agree. Yeah, that's it, guys. Pretty much not much else to say. Leclerc was on steroids at the end of 2021. It's interesting to hear Mercedes members recall all the upgrades Red Bull kept putting out in 2021. Like, where is all this money coming from? They kept thinking. Yeah, I did hear them say that. I think that specifically came from Lewis, didn't it? They've got a point. And I think there's probably upgrades that they saw that we didn't specifically see being put on their car. Stuff which all costs money. It doesn't get made out of thin air. You've got the design, you've got the development, and then the manufacturing. Like, it's just all of this. Bernie, thank you for the sub, buddy. Yeah, Mercedes-Benz were ironically faster at the end of last year, but that was predominantly due to them putting a new engine in the car. So you can see when everyone else has got older engines in, you can see how much of a difference a brand new engine makes. Max was exactly the same. I know people went, oh, it was an illegal engine. It wasn't an illegal engine. It's just because the disparity between Lewis having a brand new engine in and everyone having worn down engines, that top end speed is just so big in difference. We saw exactly the same happen with Max at Spa. Max put in a brand new engine when everyone else, majority of the field, kept their older engines in the car and just went, see ya. So that's mainly why that was. And of course the Mercedes is a well-built car anyway compared to the rest of the field. Last year it was anyway, not this year. But 400,000 people there on Sunday. Wow, that is a massive turnout. Massive turnout. If this is clear in the rules, then what is the penalty? That's what we all need to know, guys. Yeah, but it isn't clear, Will. This is it. It's not clear. I don't understand how it's not clear. Because, like, even if they came out and rewrote the regulations to kind of state, okay, well, the overspend wasn't specifically on these areas or whatever, then it's not, doesn't necessarily mean it's a straight penalty deduction. I mean, the fact of it, it's 5% is a minor overspend. I mean, 5% of the cost cap is like $7 million. Like, that's a shitload of money. Even in F1. But yeah, anyway. Oh, I need to go to bed. That was a boring session, guys. We tried to make the best out of it, but yeah, not much else really to say. Yeah, if you're still here, hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be back tomorrow night for practice 3. I'm going to try and make practice 3. I'm not sure if I will be able to. We'll see. But I'll definitely be here for qualifying, which is at 10 o'clock? No, 11 o'clock. Same time again, isn't it? Same time as this session. So, yeah, turn those notifications on, hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you tomorrow night, guys. Have a lovely rest of your day / evening, wherever you are in the world. And, yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.